Sky Squad, we are back in the building, and today we got a very special. I can I call you a newlywed still? Is it a newlywed
Yeah,
at this point?
yeah, because it's still less than a year. So
Okay, so it's still less than a year. So you are still a newlywed. We have Kendra Robinson from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Ever since this season has first started, we have been, I think this interview had been in the works, right? So I kept saying,
yeah,
I need to wait. I gotta wait to have her on. Like it's gotta be, and they kept teasing us with all this drama and the wedding. Let's just start at the beginning. For those of you guys who don't know, Kendra is also an attorney, a very
yeah,
successful attorney. If you don't understand like what this means, because I sometimes feel like we don't necessarily get to see that level of excellence on the screen. It's not highlighted. You know what I'm saying? All the work that you do. How did you get into being an attorney? And I know you're a closing attorney as well.
right. So yeah, all of that stuff you said is facts, facts. So basically, getting to be an attorney, like basically, I was in college, and I played ball in college or whatever, or that was
Okay.
my long term intention. But injuries happen. I tore my ACL and stuff like that, so I quickly had to come to the realization, like, hey, girl, you're gonna have to find another way to survive in the world. So eventually I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to law school. My mom and dad had a big influence on it and stuff from me watching the court shows with them and stuff, like Law and Order. And so when I was in undergrad, I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to law school. And so I just started trying to tailor my degree path towards, going to law school. Not that that's even a thing. But as soon as I graduated, I came to Atlanta because I'm like, I'm not trying to stay in Kentucky. And I didn't even give myself an opportunity to practice law in Kentucky. I took the Georgia bars, and I just ended up here. And then, real estate is one of those things, it'll just grab you in, especially because, I mean, it's so impactful. It's a happy space and it's very lucrative. So once I, got my wits about me, I was like, I'm gonna be a real estate attorney. Like that just I gotta do it. So I got with the right mentors and stuff and they built me up and here I am.
But if I'm correct, you started in criminal defense, right?
That's correct. So I still do criminal defense
Okay.
actually. I
Okay.
just real estate is my primary subject area, but I'm always pretty much lend myself to criminal defense just because I always want to help people. I always want to just, you know, help people out who need a voice. And so many of us, so many people look like me and my people, and just humans in general. They need somebody to advocate on their behalf. So, but be clear, my criminal practice is winding down.
Okay. Okay. So I got a question then.
Mhm.
So you got this thriving law practice, right? And I'm gonna make sure that I continue to highlight the
I
excellence of this
appreciate you,
call
brother.
because so much can get lost in the show. And that's not to take away from the show. But for people that watch, I feel like watch my channel, I always love for them to be inspired by, the amazing things that a lot of you guys are doing outside of what we see in terms of the drama. So I wanted to make sure I highlighted that first
I
before we
appreciate
get
that.
into anything with the show because that's important to me. And I know it's important to the audience. How did you I remember your entry point back in the day to love and hip hop. And it's so funny because I felt like it wasn't highlighted then exactly what you do.
It wasn't like it wasn't highlighted then, and it's still. I don't even feel like enough emphasis is even put on it now. But when you come to Atlanta and when you say my firm's name or when you say my name, people instantly gonna know. Like, okay, yeah, she's definitely a lawyer because people see me in court all day, every day. Like, I was in court today, and in the courtroom, people was saying my name when I left out of the courtroom. Like so it's like I really do this in real life, but they just, I guess, the statement that I'm a lawyer or the fact that I'm a successful attorney is, I guess, it's just might not have enough drama. It might not boost the rating up that high, so that might be something they gloss over.
I don't know, man. Because listen, if I'm an exec and if I'm a producer, I'm highlighting that because we see so much of everybody's businesses, but I feel like we don't really get to see enough of yours. So I just have to give you props and give you your flowers for, making an impact, doing something amazing and having a thriving practice. So I just had to say that. Next, has being on the show impacted your practice in any way, shape, or form? I mean, clear, it doesn't feel like it has.
It hasn't. I mean, it has in a positive way,
Okay.
because no matter what, I'm gonna conduct myself with some class and like I got some sense about myself, no matter where I am. Um, so people have been eager to patronize my business, use me, come close with me, just see what the experience is about or see exactly how attorney Kendra Robinson is and how I operate. So it has curiosity has been a great thing, and then once people experience my service and experience, the SRS way and the luxuriousness of the way we, do stuff in here, they keep coming back. So it has been an overall positive impact.
Okay, good. That's good to know. So now we can get into some things about the show that the people are dying to know. All right. Now, the wedding. No,
Mhm.
before let's start back. You and Joc, you guys have gone through the most on this
Okay.
show. How did you know that he was the one through it all?
Well, Jocelle and I have been in this for a real long time. So, it took, I mean, when I first met him, I felt like we had a really good, solid connection. You know what I mean?
Right,
And
right,
it
right.
allowed us to not super rush into stuff, and we were able to like kind of take our time and stuff. So I was really able to learn who he was, like just straight up, no cameras, no celebrity stuff, just like who he was. And so, when he peeled back all the layers for me, eventually, that's when I knew. And this was years ago. This was before Love and Hip Hop, before the proposal, like any of that stuff. Like, I knew, like, okay, well, I'm probably gonna be with him for a really long time. Like, I was like, I'm probably gonna marry him, because, you know, aside from what's showcased on TV and for a TV camera, he's actually a really good guy. He treats me with a lot of love, a lot of respect. He always has, you know. And he's a provider. Like I work hard, and I'll say I don't have to work as hard as I do because in real life I'm pretty much like kept. But I just my drive, my work ethic makes it so that I don't even think with that brain. Like I go out here and hustle and beat the street as if I literally had to. Like I had, 25 people depending on my $1. But he's a good person, and I love him, and we have overcome a lot of stuff, and it's a lot of stuff like you guys are seeing this season where, the whole world wasn't privy to, some of the stuff that Jocelle and I was going through, like, or the times we separated or that we were broke up, even while we were engaged or even while I was still wearing my ring, we had moments where it just was like not happening. But and things happened during those times when we weren't together. But we persevered through it. I had to take time to get my thoughts together to, actually decide if I wanted to be with him or did not, or if I wanted to continue on with him or not, but I chose love in the end, and I don't regret it. I don't regret it, even from watching the show in real time, because we watched the show in real time just like everybody else. I still, don't regret it because at the end of the day, I mean, I know who my husband is.
So getting into that, and I like what you said. I mean, I think when we talk about marriage, I mean, it's something so sacred, and it's something I only understand really now that I am. And the fact that you didn't take off your ring when you was going through those times, that struck me right there because
Hmm.
It really does, because I've seen people, they get mad, they take off their ring, and that's really symbolic though of like, I'm mad at you right now, but we still in this together. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that goes into that tells me a lot about your mindset as you were going through a lot of this. I want to ask you about, some of the things that have been transpiring leading up to the wedding, which overall was beautiful. I did not care for Mr. Gucci sweatsuit.
Jaceel play too much. That's like, who would like?
Were you mad about that?
Yeah, I'm like, this is not no damn comedy show.
Not
Like,
today. No. um, the Karlie Red of it all. She talked about you not inviting her to the wedding. And then we also see this flashback of her jumping out of the pretend cake at his bachelor party. Why did you choose not to invite her? And then what did you make of the reveal that she was the surprise in the box at the bachelor party?
Well, I didn't invite her for an obvious reason. Like, let's be clear, I have no problem with Karlie whatsoever. Like, Karlie has called me in need of an immigration lawyer and has referred me to her family and friends to represent them and get them whatever it is they need, or my people. So I don't have no problem with her. But the thing is this here, like, you know, we're not friends. I'm a lawyer. My goal on this earth, one of my purposes is to help people. So, at the end of the day, it's like you a coworker. So I'm gonna help you out. Like, you need a bone, I'm gonna throw you a bone, I'm gonna help you out. But like, we ain't friends. And so it's like, this wedding also wasn't cheap. We definitely spent 6 figures on this wedding. And so it's like, but like, we not friends. You not a close friend, you not a family. That's who got invited. Like, close friends, or people who we thought of to be close friends, and family, and that's just it. And she's not either or to either of us. So, and that was just that, you know.
Okay.
No
Okay.
shade. No shade.
Okay.
That's just what it is.
Because she was also saying or alleging that there was still some interest between her and Joc. Did you? Because you're watching it with us.
Yeah.
What is
Oh,
going
and
through
I
your
forgot.
mind?
Yeah, I forgot to address the part about her coming out the cake. First of all, that was Chino. Like, I already had my talk with Chino. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, now let Karlie tell it. Jaceel knew she was coming out the cake, but I'm like, Chino told me. Like, Chino already, like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like looking at Chino like, what in the hell were you thinking? And I'm
Right.
looking at Karlie like, but you should have your wits with you more than to be reduced down to doing that, like, just as a woman. And I mean, this is a 50-some-year-old woman we talking about, okay? You know what I mean? So I'm like, you ought to have the sense to know, like, that wasn't smart and it's not a good look. But when people would do anything to be mentioned or stuff like that. So, and there you have that. And we, when in Rome, you do what the Romans do, and that's what goes on. So
It is a TV show.
mm-hmm.
And then there's this. I think her name was Mita
Mm-hmm.
Spice's. I don't know if she's her manager or what. What did you make of the things that she was alleging as well?
Well, you guys, first of all, have to continue to watch, keep watching, or whatever. It's This situation is so convoluted. Like, the real stuff that's going on with us, that's like real life, like, it's so much more serious and pressing than this stuff. Like, Mita is somebody who apparently slept with Jaceel back in the day. I'm not sure if it was when he was married to Alex or when they were on the ends of being married. But, you know, her whole storyline is that she is sleeping with Jaceel. She's in love with Jaceel. Jaceel's in love with her. It's just so far fetched. You know what I mean? Like, and she alludes to all these receipts, but I'm like, again, what people don't understand is it was times when Jaceel was not my fiance or not my boyfriend or whatever. And, you know, there you have it. It is what it is. Like, it's not anything that these people can say to me to mess up my right now and my real time. Because again, you know, it's just hard for me to believe that he was with this woman during all those dates that she spewed out, when it's like, how, honey? Because some of them years he was living in my house, babe. You know, like, there's no way. Or I was living in his houses. Like, no. And it's just weird. And it just makes her look weird. And it's like, you so thirsty to say that you slept with this man in front of the world and we getting married. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I just think it's just so tasteless. Like, it's like all these old ass women. It's just so it's distasteful, you know, to say the least. And I ain't never seen that like it. So, you know, at the end of the day, that's my husband. We married. Y'all all wanted the man, even if y'all have had him. It is what it is. Like, he wasn't a virgin when I met him. He was far from it, and I was not either when he met me, and far from it. So it's just like, it is what it is. Like, go on ahead. It's like other men in the world. So that's pretty much what I make of all that. Like, you know, who does that? I mean,
Yeah.
that's your job. If that's what them folks paid you to do, girl, go ahead. But it's just weird. It's just weird to me. So
What? Because I'm curious to know this, because if you're watching the show as we're watching it play out, what are your thoughts about like the Spices and the Sierras and everybody that has heard this, who is also at the wedding or in the wedding, knowing
well,
this information?
the thing is, the difference between, let's say, a Spice and a Sierra is that Sierra's a friend of mine. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
so,
Okay.
but, you know, and we've spoken, you know what I mean? And so, like, it's a situation where, like, she doesn't know how true any of these things are. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so I just think, especially from like making an allegation, you you need to know more. And I'm just getting, as I'm watching in real time, people are trying to like sift through this stuff and see what's real, what's not, before they come and just put all this stuff in my head and throw it like all this and all that. Now, Spice, I don't have a problem with Spice or whatsoever, you know what I mean? But I don't expect better from her. She is Carlie's friend, and you know, Mita is her friend. So I don't expect her alliance to be to me. But it's like, I don't go out of my way to, you know, go speak or be in anybody's face, you know. But you know, Spice has invited us places, invited me to her birthday party, this place, that place. So it's like, you know, and I don't think that Spice is doing anything being facetious. I don't. I just think she's caught in a weird situation because that's her
Right.
friend or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like, if I knew your friend was being bold like that, first of all, I wouldn't have invited you to my wedding. So it wouldn't even have been a storyline to even have you in that, have that even be brought up, because you just would not have gotten an invite. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
like, at the end of the day, we paid for this. Like, be clear. So, you know, I just feel like Spice is not my friend. Spice is an acquaintance, and you know, and that's what it is. So I don't expect more from her now. You know, I felt like if my friends had genuinely knew and this and that, and then I would expect somebody to be like, which, you know, y'all got to keep watching. You know, y'all got to, you got to give it time to play out, and give people time to give the story time to come together. But you know, it's a weird situation to be put in when you don't know for a fact.
And then there was these weird. I don't know. So for me, you know, I'll be watching these shows with my third eye. I try to, at least. So they pop up on the screen this allegation about Joc and this alleged baby, right?
Mhm.
But when they pop it up on the screen, I can't tell where the Instagram, because you know, for me, I was like, well, where is this Instagram page at with this baby? Because I mean, you know, that's just what I do. You know, I'm trying to look up this information. When you see that on the screen, what is your reaction? Because if you're seeing it like I'm seeing it, like,
Well, you got to keep watching. You got
okay,
y'all
so
just
that's
that's
on.
one of the things you got to keep watching.
Okay.
because for me to answer your question in truth will just keep watching. Keep
Okay.
watching on that point. So
Okay. Okay. We'll keep watching because
okay.
listen, because I mean, y'all are like literally the centerpiece of a lot of the stuff that's going on. In the midst of though you having a beautiful wedding and a beautiful wedding gown at that. I mean,
Thank
what
you.
was the deal with that? The wedding and the gown and the timing or whatever like that.
Well, so I reached out. Okay, I was gonna get my gown made elsewhere, and it ended up not being able to happen because of COVID. And so all of that got halted. I lost contact with the vendor. It was like a whole big mess. So then Rico Chappelle came in and pretty much saved the day. I was up at Phipps in Atlanta looking for like just something that I could just maybe not even have to get made or just might get slight alterations done to it. And I ran into him in a store, and somebody introduced us and let me know like, look, this man can make anything you want. And that's what he did. He took my measurements and all that stuff. um and basically, but by the time I got to Rico, it was probably like 2 or 3 months before the wedding. Like, so um it was just a lot. So we were like really rushing. Brides don't come 2 3 months before they get married. They come a year before they get married, like, period. So it was a lot, and he had to do a lot of salvaging. He had to do a whole lot to like get me ready, get me there. It was some mix up with the address on the day that it was to be delivered because of the setup of everything. So it was a lot. Like, I was thinking like, oh my God, is he gonna show up with my dress? Like, Rico is very professional, okay? And it was probably just, from what I was told, just some, he was told the wrong directions by somebody. So, but it ended up working out. Is the cell
Yeah,
phone?
you looked amazing in the dress.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. I really appreciate it.
Um, my other question is, how do you want to be remembered? Like what? Because I felt like we've talked a lot about elegance, kind of class when it comes to you and how you carry yourself. How do you want people to remember you as you go throughout this reality TV space?
Um, well, first of all, I want to be remembered as a lady. Like, I want people to be inspired by me. And I always want to leave that mark of inspiring people, and just basically being a good role model for young Black girls, Black women in general. But I also want to leave a mark for being, just being real. Really showcasing what it's like to be a Black woman powerhouse in the Black Mecca, like Atlanta, where it's the land of opportunity, and you don't have to fight through so many hoops. You still have hoops, but you don't have that many hoops to jump through. But I just want people to see what that's like, because, yeah, I'm married to Jaceel, and he's a famous rapper, and all his accolades he's earned, rightfully so. But I just want to show people like, hey, you can be in love with whoever you want to love, even if it don't look like what other people think your love should look like, or if that's not the person anybody else would want to be with, or they don't recommend it. And you can have a professional job, not just a regular job. You can have a very professional job, a very thriving business. You can listen to trap music. You can be untraditional. You can, wear your nails like this if you like to. You can do what you want to do. It's very possible, and all you got to do is just, write down your plan, follow your plan, execute your plan, and do that over and over again. Like, I want people to talk about me like that when they mention, oh, besides the, oh, she's pretty, oh, she has a nice body. Like, I want them to speak of me like as a total package type deal. And I just want my mark to be made on people's lives by either them following my advice or just literally following what I do. So that's the way I want to be remembered.
Okay. Okay. Well, listen, I know you have a lot going on, and I want to say thank you so much for stopping by and chatting with us. We will be watching the rest of the season. We cannot wait to see what happens. And I will make sure that I place your links in the description of this video so they can follow you and follow your journey
Thank
and see
you.
everything that you got going on. So anytime you want to come back, you are more than welcome to do so. And we are rooting for you.
Thank you, Richie. I really appreciate y'all so much.
No problem. No problem. Skye Squad, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will catch you in the next video.
Bye.